There are men who rise by strength. There are men who rise by ambition. And then there are men who rise because suffering has carved them into something heaven can use. Zareph was the last kind. For years, he led what remained of his tribe through barren places, moving at night, hiding by day. They had no home, no walls, no safety. Only Zareph's instincts kept them alive. He walked with the quiet desperation of a man who refused to let the world finish what the giants had started. But then, a rumor reached them, a whisper carried by travelers and wanderers. A story too strange to believe, a tale of a giant who killed giants. A protector. Miracle. Most dismissed it. Zareph did not. He looked at his starving people, at the children who no longer cried because crying wasted strength, and he said only 3 words. "We go now." And so they went. Through forests where the trees leaned like watchers, through ravines where echoes carried the memory of screams, through abandoned villages where idols lay shattered in the dust. Hunger gnawed at them. Fear stalked them. Doubt whispered at every turn. But Zareph pressed on, until one morning, as the sun rose behind them, they climbed a final ridge and froze. Below them lay a town, alive, thriving, impossible. Smoke from cooking fires curled into the sky. Children ran freely in the streets. Laughter drifted on the wind, and in the middle of it all, a giant. Not a marauder. Not a monster. A gentle giant, trying and failing to hide behind a shopkeeper while children giggled and chased him. Zareph's breath caught in his throat. His people stood in stunned silence. Hope, real hope, returned to them. For the first time in years, when they entered the town, the people welcomed them with open arms. Food was shared. Water was offered. Work was given. Healing began, but as Zareph walked the streets, something strange unsettled him. There were no idols. Not a single carved figure. No household shrines. No altars tucked into corners. No charms hanging from doorways. A town this large should have dozens, but here nothing. When he asked, the townspeople only shrugged. "We don't need them," they said. "The air feels different here." Ever since the giant came, something changed. Zareph filed this away. A quiet question in his heart, one he could not yet answer. Days passed. His people healed. The town grew familiar. And then came the first attack. Desperate giants, driven half-mad by hunger and the prince's whisper, descended upon the town. Tirak met them like a storm. His sling a blare, his spear a flash of judgment. He moved with impossible speed, impossible precision. He fought giants twice his size, as though they were clumsy children. The town watched in awe, but in the chaos, one giant slipped past Tirak's line. Before anyone else could react, Zareph moved. He didn't shout. He didn't hesitate. He simply acted. His tribesmen followed him instantly, as they always had. Together, they pushed the giant back, buying precious seconds, protecting the people behind them. It was a small moment, a quiet moment. But the town noticed. For the first time, they looked to Zareph with something like trust. Days later, wolves struck in the night. Tirak fought until exhaustion crushed him. One of Zareph's tribesmen fell defending the town. Zareph knelt beside the body, grief burning through him like fire. He had lost too many. He would lose no more. Something hardened inside him. Something sharpened. He began watching Tirak more closely, not with suspicion, but with reverence. He saw the giant's strength. Yes, but also his gentleness, his humility, his loneliness. He saw the way Tirak lowered his head to enter his home, as though apologizing for existing. Zareph hated that. A seed of purpose took root. One night, he saw Tirak rise from sleep and walk toward the hill outside the town. Zareph followed, silent as a shadow. Tirak paused, listening to a voice only he could hear. And then the sky opened. A being of light descended, radiant, terrible, beautiful. Uriel. Zareph fell to his knees, trembling. He had never seen holiness. He had never felt the air bend under the weight of heaven. But Uriel did not rebuke him, did not drive him away, did not hide the meeting. He allowed Zareph to watch, and in that moment, everything made sense. The town's peace, the absence of idols, a strange presence in the air, the way people spoke of Tirak with Aor. This was not coincidence. This was not luck. This was God. Zareph's heart ignited when Tirak lifted a mace. Zareph's mind exploded with ideas. Armor, shields, formations, weapons, strategy. He saw the future in a single heartbeat. He saw what Tirak could become, what the town could become, what he could become. He ran back to the town, breathless, fire in his eyes. He gathered the people and declared, "I saw a being of light come from the sky. I saw him speak to Tirak. Tirak is holy, and we must prepare. Forge armor, build shields, organize. A storm is coming." The people listened because they remembered the man who stepped forward in battle, because they felt the truth in his voice, because the air itself seemed to agree. Work began immediately. Blacksmiths gathered materials. Hunters brought hides and bone. Zareph sketched designs in the dirt. Tirak watched, confused but trusting. The first kingdom was beginning to form. As the sun set, Zareph approached Tirak quietly. "When I first arrived," he said, "I noticed this town has no idols. I didn't understand why. But now I do. I saw you on the hill. I saw the angel, and I have questions, Tirak, about the God you follow." Tirak's face lit up with a gentle, childlike joy. "Ask," he said softly. "I will teach you what little I know." And so the two stood together, a holy giant and the man who would one day be king, speaking quietly. As the town worked behind them, Uriel watched from the distant ridge, silent and approving. The whispers stirred in the air, not yet falling, but drawing near. War was coming. Destiny was forming, and Zareph, refined by fire, was rising.